Almost anybody can look at one of those barn quilts and it evokes memories of grandma and family, and it just makes you feel really good, and it just can't help but be happy memories.
The Buena Vista County Barn Quilt Committee was formed shortly after my son, Evan, gave a presentation to several people that were interested in barn quilts in our county.
At first I didn't know what a barn quilt was when she first talked to me about it, but then when she explained it to me, I thought it could be a fun experience. It all started in Adams County, Ohio. Then someone heard about it in Iowa, and they started it in Grundy County, Iowa, and it is spread through Ohio and Iowa. First, I won a blue ribbon at the county fair, which led me to win another blue ribbon at the state fair, which probably encouraged me to encourage others in Buena Vista County to make more barn quilts.
Well, we went over to our dear neighbor's place.
Yeah, we went over to Pat's, and
They were painting.
They were painting them, and we just decided it's for us. We're going to do it.
We had the computer out there and we were showing people, look at these possibilities and all the different things that you can do. The next step is to make sure that they know exactly what colors they want, and typically we let them go pick out the paint. You can basically break any quilt pattern down into 4x4s, 8x8s. You just do it off basically on a grid, draw diagonal lines. You'll notice on most of our things we have no curved lines. Everything is straight. The only thing we have yet to figure out is, do we want straight lines across here like that, or do we want these curved? And then we draw off the lines, we choose what color will be painted first, we mask that off, and each color gets about 3 coats of paint.
The barn quilt is copied from the old quilts patterns. They are painted on the board and they're displayed on your barn. It's a special kind of plywood that is resistant to the weather. And they're all in 4x8 sheets. So when you're going to do a barn quilt, you're going to do 2 of those. So when you're drawing your pattern, you're drawing the pattern of half of it. And when it gets up there, then you've got the whole barn quilt together. The REC was real generous to us that they will come and install them for us in this county. And then they put one board horizontally, and then they put one board horizontally on the barn, so that when they raise it up there, it just sits on that board, and that has made it level then and easy for them to install. So they've been really generous to do that in the county for us.
Anybody that comes new to our place goes, "Oh wow, you have a barn quilt."
We enjoy looking at the different ones that we see along the blacktops and the highway, and you know, it's just fun to comment, and if you don't know the names of the patterns, to guess what it might be.
Well, we put our first barn quilt at my Uncle Gary's barn, which is owned by Mildred Haydenfeld on Highway 3.
One time he said, "Would you like to have a barn quilt?" "Oh yes," I said. "I've been wishing for one for a long time."
We found our design by first of all looking up the internet. That's how we found Eddystone Light, our pattern. And we also went to a quilt shop where we also found another pattern that we liked, but we ended up picking Eddystone Light.
And the name of my barn quilt is Stargazing. This one was actually the second one that we have painted. Our Aunt Dorothy helped us choose this pattern because it's actually her crib that we put the barn quilt on. We decided to put one on each side because it doesn't face the road.
Quilt is at his farm, and the name of it is Egyptian Queen. It's not really like the stars and the triangles and the other things you've seen. It's just called the Egyptian Queen, and it's very dark colors in the rusts and gold and browns.
My husband and I live by Rembrandt, 4849 100th Avenue by Rembrandt. And the quilt pattern that we chose was a star for all seasons. And since we do a lot of farming with John Deere tractors, we like the green and the yellow for the harvest and the planting, and then we have it bordered in black for the Angus cattle that we raise.
Because we make lots of quilts, and I thought this would be one block of a quilt that maybe someday we'll make. The name of the barn quilt is From the Manger to the Cross.
We would like to have something on our barn to decorate it. And the name of our quilt is the Ohio Star.
And it's kind of an X job and a star, you know, and in the corners we had different colors that was going to fit in real easy, and it worked out pretty slick.
We live at Albert City, and the name of our barn quilt is just a triple star. Just always been interested in quilting, and when this started happening, we just wanted to get in on it.
We live north of Aurelia, and the barn quilt checker size, say that twice. And our daughter-in-law and son designed it. They used the colors of Iowa State. It's red and gold. And then in the corners there's checkers. That's there because we ride bike and we are members of the checker team.
We like the patriotic theme.
And the name of the quilt is the Patriotic Evening Star.
I found it on the front of a barn quilt magazine, and then they tweaked it a little bit. They put more lines in it, and we really like it a lot better the way it turned out than what it was when we found it.
Just something unique, I think. It
dresses up the countryside.
Every corner of Buena Vista County has something to offer, and we have awesome barns. We have wonderful artists. It shows the color, the variety of Iowa, the things that we have to offer. We're not just all farmland, it's beauty, and it comes up in the strangest places. I mean, most people would not expect to see something like that on a barn. But when you see something like that on a barn, you don't just see the quilt, you see the barn.
It adds to the farmstead's beauty. There's just something about them, I like them.
When you're going to another town, it's kind of fun when you're going by farmsteads and seeing different barn quilts, and they're all different colors.
I think they're very important for us to recognize barns, recognize farm buildings, and also to encourage people to look at the countryside.
We're always looking for people who would be willing to paint, who would be willing to help draw, even to build the frames for the thing, because our theory is that everybody has something to offer that we could use when we're doing the barn quilts. And it's really almost as easy as coloring in a coloring book. You just paint between the lines, and it's pretty good sized painting. I really don't think it can be messed up.
It's just a real good community service, and everybody that sees them really appreciates that they're out there.
Well, I'm happy that there's many barn quilts in Buena Vista County going up. In the beginning, I thought it was just going to be me, my dad, and my mom making these barn quilts, but I'm very glad that they have started a committee in Buena Vista.